Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Entertainment. Sleeping for 10 years, the world awaits me to wake up. 12 years ago, Ye Ming was born with great success and was admitted to the directing major at Beijing Film Academy with a perfect score. In his freshman and sophomore years, he filmed 3 TV dramas, each of which sparked a frenzy of ratings. Even more popular was a student from the same grade of Beijing Film Academy's performance department. Like Yang Xiaomi, Liu Shishi, Tong Xiaoya, Liu Yifei, who GeSubsequently, Ye Ming moved into the film industry and brought a small-budget film, Crazy Stone, which grossed 30 million yuan at the box office. For a moment, the entertainment industry shook. The name Ye Ming resounded throughout Beiying and became a legendary figure. Just when everyone thought they would enter Ye Ming's era, Ye Ming saved a little girl in an accident and was hit by a heavy truck flying more than 10 meters, unconscious. This sleep lasts for 10 years. His classmates who brought fire have all become popular actors in the entertainment industry, and the girl he saved has also grown up. On this day, Ye Ming, who had been sleeping for 10 years, suddenly opened his eyes. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 001, The Mysterious Plant from the First People's Hospital. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The First People's Hospital of Beijing. There is such a patient. Very famous within the hospital. Because every once in a while, there will be famous celebrities pretending to come and visit. Such as Yang Xiaomi, Liu Shishi, and Liu Yifei, who are currently one of the 4 big and small actresses, as well as Zhang Jifeng, who is currently very popular. They will disguise themselves and come here whenever they have time, just to accompany that patient. Not only are they female celebrities, but there are also many popular male celebrities today. Such as Hu Gu, Yuan Hong, Huang Bo, Yu Zheng, and so on. Every time they arrive, they stay for half a day, and when they leave, their eyes are always red. There are almost no exceptions. The most crucial thing is that this patient is still a vegetative. At the beginning, everyone was very curious about what kind of patient this was and how it was worth having these famous celebrities come to visit. But what surprised these young nurses was that they couldn't find any information about this patient. Ask those older nurses, they are all silent. Just let them work hard and don't inquire too much about things that shouldn't be asked. However, there is one thing they still know. That's it, this patient has been lying here for a whole 10 years. For the past decade. He has been sleeping soundly. There is no intention of waking up. You should know that the money he needs to spend every day is exorbitant, but there has always been someone helping him pay for it. I have never been in arrears. Even now, tens of millions have been pre-deposited and reserved. All of this reveals the extraordinary identity of this vegetative person. I don't know which nurse accidentally leaked this news. This news has caused a huge uproar on the internet. It even directly made it to the top 20 trending topics on Weibo. There is a mysterious vegetative figure at the First People's Hospital in Beijing, who is visited by celebrities every 3 to 5 days. His identity is astonishing. This hot search came very unexpectedly. There are no signs. Yang Xiaomi, who is filming Fate Comes for You on the set, was very anxious for her assistant to find her and said a sentence in her ear. Yang Xiaomi's stunning face suddenly changed. She said to the director, "Director, I suddenly feel a bit uncomfortable and need to rest for half an hour. I'm sorry." After Yang Xiaomi finished speaking, she ran away without waiting for everyone to come to her senses. The people who left the crew looked at each other in confusion. After Yang Xiaomi returned to her private lounge, she immediately dialed Liu Yifei, who was in charge of the public relations department at Jiaxing. "Liu Yifei, I want you to immediately contact Weibo and have them immediately remove the item on Weibo's hot search. There is a mysterious vegetative person at the First People's Hospital in Beijing, and celebrities come to visit every 3 to 5 days. His identity is amazing. No matter how much money he spends, he immediately removed it from my Weibo account. Liu Xin heard her boss speak so solemnly, and she also knew the seriousness of the matter. So she hurriedly said, "Honey, I know now. I'll contact you immediately." Immediately. After Yang Xiaomi finished speaking, she immediately hung up the phone and clicked on Weibo to refresh the hot search events on it. As expected, the hot search for, there is a mysterious vegetative figure at the First People's Hospital in Beijing, who is visited by celebrities every 3 to 5 days, with an astonishing identity, has now reached the 15th place and is constantly increasing its popularity. It won't be long before it reaches the top 3 of hot searches. Even, occupy headlines. Yang Xiaomi absolutely does not allow such a situation to occur. She absolutely does not allow anyone to disturb Ye Gu, and now, Ye Gu needs to rest, absolutely not allowed. Liu Shishi, who happened to be resting today, is coming to the First People's Hospital in a nanny car. However, at this moment, she also caught the hot search on the internet. Her stunning face was filled with a look of shock. Later, she thought of something and immediately dialed the phone of her boss Kai Yinong. "Sister Kai, could you please help me contact the Weibo propaganda department and have them immediately remove the 9th item on the hot search list? There is a mysterious vegetative person at the First People's Hospital of Beijing, and celebrities visit every 3 to 5 days. His identity is amazing. No matter how much money it costs, as long as they help me remove it immediately and immediately." After the phone was connected, Liu Shishi immediately spoke up. When Kai Yinong heard Liu Shishi's phone call, she couldn't help but sigh, but she still said, "Teacher, I will contact you now. You don't have to worry too much. You need to be more open-minded. Some people, after all, need to." Teacher Liu interrupted Kai Yinong directly, "Sister Kai, absolutely not. Ye Gu will definitely wake up. He will definitely wake up, I have always believed in it." Kai Yinong is helpless. But she still said, "All right, teacher, I won't advise you anymore. I'll contact the Weibo propaganda department first and remove that hot search." "Thank you, Sister Kai," Liu Shishi gratefully said. "Why are you being polite to me?" "Speaking of which, I owe him a big favor," said Kai Yinong. After hanging up with Kai Yinong, Liu Shishi clicked on Weibo again to refresh the hot search rankings, eagerly waiting. Never allow anyone to disturb Ye Gu's rest, he doesn't like noise. Teacher Liu murmured to himself, with a deep longing on his face. "It's been 10 years. Brother Yi, when did you wake up? Liu Yifei is shooting fashion magazines abroad." At that moment, her agent found her and told her the news. Liu Yifei's face suddenly changed drastically. She said immediately, "Red Sister, could you please help me contact the domestic market and the Weibo promotion department so that they can immediately remove that hot search? No matter how much it costs, please help me remove it as soon as possible." Liu Yifei's agent, Red Sister, nodded and said, "Yifei, okay, I'll contact you now." Liu Yifei nodded, then took out her phone and clicked on Weibo, anxiously refreshing. Ye Gu likes to be quiet, and he absolutely cannot let those who leave in admiration disturb Ye Gu. Liu Yifei anxiously refreshed Weibo. Zhang Jifeng, who is recording the 4th season of The Life of Longing 4 live in Zishuangbana, is planting watermelon seedlings with Peng Peng on an open space. At that moment, her assistant ran over and whispered in her ear. Zhang Jifeng's face suddenly changed, and she quickly whispered to her assistant, "Immediately help me contact Weibo and have them take down that hot search. No matter how much it costs, it doesn't matter. I don't want anyone to disturb my brother." The assistant nodded and quickly went to work. The viewers watching the live broadcast are all unaware of why. They rarely see a sister with such a solemn expression. Everyone is speculating whether something has happened to their sister Zhang Jifeng. Peng Peng naturally noticed and asked with concern, "Sister, what's wrong with you? Are you feeling unwell?" Zhang Jifeng gave a difficult smile and said, it's okay. Just as Yang Xiaomi, Liu Shishi, Liu Yifei, and Zhang Jifeng were in a hurry to take down the hot search, popular actors Hu Gu, Huang Bo, Yu Zheng, and others immediately asked their agents to contact the Weibo promotion department and ask them to take down the hot search. They also don't want anyone to pay too much attention to this matter. They don't want anyone to disturb their benefactors, good friends, or good brothers. Just as these currently popular celebrities contacted Weibo to announce that their department was going to be taken down from this hot search, they were in the first VIP ward of the neurology department of the First People's Hospital in Beijing. A young man with a rosy face, three-dimensional facial features, and an unattractive handsomeness was lying on the hospital bed. He breathed evenly and fell asleep quietly. For the past decade, he has been sleeping soundly here. For 10 years, his eyes never opened again. But at this moment, his eyes suddenly opened. There are no signs. 002, originally, I have been sleeping for 10 years, seeking collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the first VIP ward. The young man who had been sleeping for 10 years suddenly opened his eyes. There are no signs. If someone is here, they will definitely be startled. He looked around at the unfamiliar environment. Various advanced instruments are placed here, but the room is decorated warmly and spacious, giving people a comfortable and relaxing feeling. In the end, his gaze fixed on the clock hanging on the wall. To be precise, it is the date fixed on the clock, May 20th, 2020. The young man's bright and starry pupils suddenly contracted, clearly shocked by this date. After a while, he took his gaze off the clock and lifted his hands, his fair and slender fingers. This is a pair of hands that can make countless girls scream and envy. Just, now his incredibly beautiful hand is inserting a needle and infusing nutrient solution. Did I sleep for 10 years? The young man murmured to himself, then fell into deep memories. The young man's name is Ye Ming. 12 years ago, he accidentally traveled to a world called Blue Star, which is very similar to Earth, with over 85% similarity. Ye Ming has bound a system called the Dominance Entertainment System. The ultimate task is to make Ye Ming dominate the entertainment industry and become the mastermind behind everything. By completing the system's tasks, the system has endowed Ye Ming with abilities such as director proficiency, acting proficiency, screenwriting proficiency, singing proficiency, and unforgettable memory. Subsequently, Ye Ming was admitted to the directing major of Beijing Film Academy with a perfect score in the art exam. In his first year at Beijing Film Academy, while other freshmen were still familiar with the campus life of the university, Ye Ming prepared to shoot a film called The Legend of Sword and Fairy, in front of everyone's surprised eyes. In a situation where everyone was not optimistic, the broadcast of The Legend of Sword and Fairy immediately stunned countless people. Everyone at Beiying was shaking uncontrollably. Starring Hu Gu, Liu Yifei, Anixuan, Liu Pingyan, Peng Yuyan, and others, they became famous overnight. You should know that all these leading actors are freshmen of Beijing Film Academy. The name of Ye Ming, a freshman majoring in directing at Beijing Film Academy, resounds throughout the entire film industry. No one doesn't know. In the same year, in front of everyone's shocked eyes, Ye Ming once again prepared to shoot a historical drama called Step by Step Startling Heart. No one believes he can control such a big drama. However, once Step by Step Amazing was aired, it once again went viral. The flagship TV that quickly surpassed major satellite TV stations in terms of ratings. The leading actors Wu Qilong, Liu Shishi, Yuan Hong, and others have also become popular. Among them, Liu Shishi and Yuan Hong, like Hu Gu, are also freshmen in Beijing Film Academy's freshman year. 2 consecutive blockbuster dramas have completely elevated Ye Ming to the status of a mythical figure in Beiying. Not only were the teachers and classmates of Beiying amazed by Ye Ming's amazing talent, but they were also the coveted targets in the eyes of Beiying students. Countless performance professionals hoped that Ye Ming, the junior brother, could take a liking to them and allow them to participate in Ye Ming's new play. The second year. In his sophomore year, Ye Ming made a comeback and prepared to start filming a new film called Palace Lockhart Jade. This time, no one doubts Ye Ming's ability anymore. In fact, Ye Ming did not disappoint everyone at Beiying. Once Palace Lockhart Jade was broadcasted, it once again sparked a frenzy of ratings. Leading actors Yang Xiaomi, Tong Xiaoya, Tong Xiaoya, and others once again rose to fame with the help of this play. Coincidentally, Yang Xiaomi and Tong Xiaoya are in the same class as Hugo, Liu Shishi, Liu Yifei, and others, and are currently studying in their sophomore year. Ye Ming brought 3 TV dramas with skyrocketing ratings, and even made dozens of new actors popular in the 2007 Beijing Film Festival. 3 TV dramas went viral one after another. The reputation exploded, making Ye Ming completely divine in Beiying. Just as everyone was waiting for Ye Ming's 4th TV drama to come out, Ye Ming entered the film industry in front of everyone's surprised and puzzled eyes. That's it. At that time, Huang Bo, Yu Zheng, Guo Tao, and others who were still performing in a group in Hengdian, were spotted by Ye Ming and participated in his first film, Crazy Stone. This movie, Crazy Stone, was produced for only 3 million yuan and ultimately grossed 30 million yuan at the box office, despite no one's expectations. This transcript has shocked the entire film industry and even the entertainment industry. As for the teachers and students of Beiying, let alone. They were all conquered by Ye Ming. In their hearts, Ye Ming is an omnipotent god. They all realized that in the near future, they would enter an era belonging to Ye Ming. But at this moment, an accident happened. Ye Ming saved a little girl in an accident, but was hit by a runaway heavy truck and flew more than 10 meters away. If it were an ordinary person, their body would have died so long ago that they could no longer die. But Ye Ming did not. Not only did he not die, but he didn't even have any scars on his body. It turned out that the dominant entertainment system bound to Ye Ming had exhausted all its energy and saved Ye Ming's body, but Ye Ming also fell into a deep sleep as a result. This sleep lasts for 10 years. Click, at that moment, the door of the ward was opened, which also interrupted Ye Ming's memories. A very young and beautiful nurse walked in. When she saw Ye Ming sitting in bed, she was startled. If it weren't for her excellent professional skills, she would have screamed long ago. But even so, she was scared. A person who has been sleeping for 10 years suddenly sits on the bed, anyone will be scared. Subsequently, she was extremely excited. She walked over and asked, "Mr. Yi, are you awake?" Ye Ming nodded slightly. "I'll go call the doctor right now, please wait a moment." The nurse saw Ye Ming nod, and she remembered something and ran away as fast as she could. Not long after, 7 or 8 doctors and experts arrived to thoroughly examine Ye Ming. They found that Ye Ming had no physical problems at all. The consciousness is also very clear. No amnesia, no other mental issues. In this state, it is completely possible to be discharged from the hospital. However, for the sake of insurance, they asked Ye Ming to stay in the hospital for another 2 days of observation before being discharged. Ye Ming also agreed to this. 003, multiple celebrities landing on hot searches, netizens shaking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The news of Ye Ming's awakening was immediately communicated by the nurses to Yang Xiaomi, Liu Yifei, Liu Shishi, Zhang Zifeng, Tong Xiaoya, Hugo, and others who had left their phone numbers. Yang Xiaomi, who is filming Fate is You, has always been absent-minded. She is always distracted from time to time, causing NG more than 10 times. For Yang Xiaomi, this is very rare. At this moment, Yang Xiaomi's agent rushed over like a sprint. Ignoring everyone who was filming, she ran directly to Yang Xiaomi and exclaimed with great joy, "Sister me, he's awake. Just now, I received a call from the hospital informing him that he's awake." Yang Xiaomi didn't react at first. After she did, she fell into an extremely excited state, and then tears streamed down her face. Then she didn't care about anything and just ran away. She only has one idea now, which is to go to the First People's Hospital in Beijing as soon as possible. She is going to see him. I waited for 10 years. He finally regained consciousness. He has finally returned. The crew were all confused, they didn't know what had happened for a moment. Yang Xiaomi's agent quickly said to the director, "Director Yang, I'm sorry, Miss Mi has a very important thing to do now. I'll take 2 days off on her behalf." "I'm really sorry." Yang Xiaomi's agent finished speaking and quickly left. Leave everyone looking at each other. However, they got a crucial message from the conversation between Yang Xiaomi and her agent just now. That is, it seems that Yang Xiaomi is going to meet someone. A person who just woke up. Zhang Jifeng, who is recording the 4th season of The Life of Longing for Live, is helping teacher Huang wash vegetables. At that moment, her agent walked up to her and whispered a word in her ear. Zhang Jifeng's face suddenly showed an incredulous expression. Subsequently, a look of excitement appeared on her face. Immediately after, her tears couldn't stop, flowing down continuously with a clatter. Teacher He immediately noticed Zhang Jifeng's abnormality and asked with concern, "Sister, what's wrong with you? Why did you suddenly cry?" Zhang Jifeng looked at Teacher He excitedly and said, "Teacher He, that I need to take a few days off. I need to meet a very important person." "Ah. Who is my sister going to see?" At this moment, Teacher Peng and Teacher Huang also walked over and looked at Zhang Jifeng with a concerned expression. Zhang Jifeng seemed to be lost in memories as she whispered, "See a brother who gave me a new life, a brother who I can give anything to." Zhang Jifeng finished speaking and looked eagerly at Teacher He and Teacher Huang. Teacher He was shocked when he heard Zhang Jifeng's words. It's hard for him to imagine that this would come from his usually cheerful sister. So, he comforted and said, "Since this person is so important, sister, you can go. We are all waiting for you to come back. Without you, Mushroom House is not possible." Teacher Huang also said, "Sister, go ahead. If there's anything, I'll stand by and the cool program team won't dare to do anything. Sister, go ahead, brother will also help you with it." Peng Peng also spoke out with a worried expression on his face. Zhang Jifeng wiped his tears and said, "Thank you." Then, she didn't even pick up her luggage, so she ran away from the shooting range. And the viewers who watched the live broadcast were confused. What's going on here? Why did my sister, who has always been quiet and independent, suddenly cry? Who is the person she is going to see? Who can be worth everything for my sister? It exploded. The live broadcast room exploded instantly. What's wrong with my sister? Why did she suddenly cry? My younger sister just said she's going to meet a brother who gave her a new life, a brother she can give anything to. Who is this brother? Is it my sister's biological brother? The person who can make my younger sister so out of control must be very important to her, right? When I saw my younger sister crying, my eyes were also sore, and inexplicable tears rolled in my eyes. I really want to know what happened to my younger sister. So, Zhang Jifeng, who has always had a very good reputation, went on hot search. Zhang Jifeng suddenly collapsed and cried, crying to see someone, who gave Zhang Jifeng a new life. Who is worth her effort? Feeling sorry for my sister, 3 hot searches in a row, airing on Weibo. Maybe. Liu Yifei, who is shooting a fashion magazine, has become somewhat absent-minded after what happened just now. The progress of the shooting has slowed down a lot. At that moment, her agent, Red Sister, ran over to her side and said a word in her ear. Liu Yifei was completely stunned. "Red Sister, are you telling the truth?" Liu Yifei grabbed Red Sister's hands vigorously and asked excitedly. Yifei, it's true. The hospital just called me. The agent, Sister Hong, nodded, and she couldn't help but sigh. That man, how could he really wake up? Liu Yifei received a definite answer and ran away, wearing the clothes she was shooting, just like that. She is going back to her home country. She wants to see him as soon as possible. It's been 10 years. He finally woke up. She couldn't wait to see him and spoke to him. She wants to tell him that she has been waiting for him for 10 years. Red Sister saw Liu Yifei run away, and her face showed a bitter expression, but she didn't stop it. Because she deeply knew how important that man was to Liu Yifei. As for this set of fashion magazine covers, not important. Even if compensation is needed for this, it is not important. When Yang Xiaomi, Liu Yifei, Zhang Jifeng and others received the news, Tong Xiaoya, Hu Gu, Huang Bo, Yu Zheng and others also received the news. So they all suspended their work. Hurry to the capital as soon as possible. Hurry to the First People's Hospital. They are going to meet that man, who is incredibly important to them. If it weren't for this man, then there wouldn't be their present day. 004, it's been 10 years, long time no see. Seeking collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. However, the first person to arrive at the hospital was Teacher Liu. Because she had originally planned to come to the hospital today to accompany Ye Ming. Therefore, when she heard the hospital's phone call notifying Ye Ming to wake up, she was only 1 kilometer away from the hospital. She was excited when she received this news, which eventually turned into joy. Tears of joy cannot be stopped. When the car heard the entrance of the hospital, she ignored it and ran towards the hospital like crazy. Teacher Liu is now a popular little playboy. There shouldn't be too many people who know her. So, when Liu Shishi appeared at the First People's Hospital, tears streaming down his face, the news of rushing towards the direction of neurology appeared on the internet. No accidents. Liu Shishi also became a hot topic on Weibo. Popular actress Liu Shishi unexpectedly appears at the First People's Hospital in Beijing. Teacher Liu cried, inexplicably distressed. For a moment, everyone was confused. What's wrong with the teacher? The First People's Hospital. I seem to have read a hot search about the First People's Hospital today. At that time, there wasn't much Louis, but now I can't see it anymore. How did the teacher appear at the First People's Hospital? She cried so sadly, what's going on? I'm so sorry, teacher. What's wrong with teacher? Liu Shishi rushed to the first VIP ward of a neurology inpatient department at the fastest speed in his life. However, at the entrance of the ward, she stopped there. Her body was trembling. My eyes are red. She dared not open the door, fearing that the news she had just received would be false. She was afraid that it was a dream. A dream she has had countless times. She was afraid of waking up from her dream and had nothing left. At this point, the door suddenly opened from inside. A nurse walked out. The nurse saw Liu Shishi standing at the door and exclaimed in surprise, Shishi, you're here. Hurry in, Mr. Yi has already woken up. After the nurse finished speaking, she moved aside and let Teacher Liu walk in. Through the door, Teacher Liu saw a young man sitting on the hospital bed. Who is Ye Ming, who hasn't been worried about her for 10 years? At the moment of seeing Ye Ming, Liu Shishi's tears couldn't stop once again and flowed down with a roar. She wiped away her tears as she stepped forward and walked in. Brother Yi, you have finally returned. Teacher Liu trembled and spoke out. Ye Ming looked at Liu Shishi, who was constantly shedding tears, and chuckled lightly, Shishi, it's been 10 years, long time no see. You're still so beautiful. Teacher Liu remembered something. She said, wait for me for 5 minutes, and then she ran into the restroom. 5 minutes later, Teacher Liu opened the door and walked out. Liu Shishi applied a light touch of makeup and meticulously dressed up, becoming an eye-catching beauty. However, her eyes are still a bit red and swollen. Especially those eyes, they all cried red. "Brother Yi, I made you laugh." Teacher Liu forcefully restrained himself from shedding tears again. "You. Do you still need to pay attention to these things in front of me?" Ye Ming chuckled lightly. Liu Shishi stared at Ye Ming like this, seeing that there were no traces of time left on his face. She was momentarily stunned. "Does it look good?" Teacher Liu subconsciously replied, "It looks good." When she realized it, her face turned red and she realized that she was mesmerized by Ye Ming's cheeks. I was even teased by Ye Ming. However, she was soon filled with joy. Because this is not a dream. He has really come back. The talented man destined to shine in the entertainment industry has returned. The First People's Hospital of Beijing. Journalists and media have already arrived upon hearing the news. Some of them were squatting at the door, while others walked in, trying to find Liu Shishi. They are eager to know the truth. I want to know why Liu Shishi suddenly came to the First People's Hospital in Beijing crying. You know, this is Teacher Liu. One of the popular little beauties. Boom, boom. Just then, a supercar suddenly stopped at the entrance. A handsome man wearing sunglasses stepped down from the supercar. He walks very fast. As he walked, he seemed to dislike walking too slowly. So he ran up. When the journalists and media saw this handsome man, they were immediately excited. Hugo. As a popular actor, Hugo actually appeared at the First People's Hospital. With their keen sense of touch, Liu Shishi appeared here crying, and now Hugo appeared here again. This seems to be a problem. Oh no, this is definitely a problem. So they went crazy taking photos. However, they seemed to coincide and did not go for an interview, but followed behind Hugo. They all want to know, where is Hugo going? Is he here to find Teacher Liu? Hugo naturally knew that there was media tracking, but he ignored it. I can't understand it either. Because he can't wait anymore. He is going to see his brother. When the journalists followed Hugo to the inpatient department of the neurology department, they were stopped. Their attire is too obvious. At first glance, it is clear that it is a journalist media, and the inpatient department of neurology cannot casually allow journalist media to enter. This leaves journalists and media at a loss. We can only wait here. At the same time, news of Hugo appearing at the First People's Hospital also landed on the internet. Shocked. Li Xiaoya and Hugo surprised the First People's Hospital in Beijing. Liu Shishi had just arrived at the First People's Hospital crying, and the next moment Hugo also came. What happened between them? So, the fans of Hugo and Liu Shishi couldn't sit still. You should know that Hugo and Liu Shishi are both the first brothers and sisters under the Sugar Man brand, and have collaborated on many TV dramas. There has never been any rumor between them. However, what has happened now has left them stunned. Did something really happen between them? Has anyone read this book? If there is, I will update. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Has anyone read this book? If there are, I will update more. Has anyone read this book? If there are, I will update more. Has anyone read this book? If there are, I will update more. Say important things 3 times. For new books, data such as flowers, reviews, tips, monthly passes, and collections are too important. Begging for flowers. Seeking evaluation. Please give me a reward. Looking for a monthly pass. Please collect. The author shamelessly seeks a wave. The better the data, the more motivated the author will be. Seeking motivation. Please do everything. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 005, without you by my side, I wouldn't be living at all. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. In Ward 1. Hugo opened the door and walked in as soon as possible. When he saw the familiar Ye Ming sitting on the bed, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. So this is true. Ye Ming really woke up. His good brother has really come back. Hugo walked to the bedside and lightly punched Ye Ming, excitedly saying, Ye, after waiting for you for 10 years, you finally came back. I knew you would definitely come back. Ye Ming saw Hugo arrive. He was not surprised. At that time, when he first entered Beiying, he happened to be in the same dormitory as Hugo Fan. The brotherhood between the two goes without saying. Xiao Hu, what's wrong with your right eye? Ye Ming immediately discovered a very obvious scar on Hugo's right eyelid. Did Hugo also have a car accident in this world? It's okay, it was left behind in a car accident a few years ago, Hugo replied without any concern. When Hugo said these words, he casually stroked the bangs on the right to prove that he did not get out of this car accident. But how could his action escape Ye Ming's eyes? Ye Ming chuckled lightly and said, Xiao Hu, this is a man's medal that makes you more charming. I envy you a bit. Hu Ji's whole body trembled, and then he also laughed and cursed, Ye Gu, what are you envious of? You don't look in the mirror either. If you go out now, you will definitely bewitch countless young girls. Just stand there and you will be the top current. Is it top-notch? It seems that after 10 years of development, the entertainment industry has also entered the era of traffic in this world. It seems that the best era has arrived. He smiled and looked at Hugo and Liu Shishi, asking, over the years, have you all been okay? Not good. Hugo and Liu Shishi spoke out simultaneously. Liu Shishi continued, it's not good at all because you're not here. Ye Ming felt warm in his heart. He can fully imagine how many people would shed tears and feel sorry for him when he had a car accident. Later, he asked again, Xiaomi, Xiaoya, Yifei, and my classmates, are they okay? Upon hearing these words, Teacher Liu suddenly felt a little unhappy and said sourly, they don't know how good their lives are. They fly around and don't want to be too nourishing. I'm afraid they've already forgotten about you, brother Yi. Upon hearing this, Hugo couldn't help but cover his face. He really can't say anything about this kind of thing. Because, whether it's Liu Shishi, Yang Xiaomi, Tong Xiaoya, Liu Yifei, and others, they have already fallen in love with Ye Ming. Over the past decade. They have never been in love. Always keep a distance from all the opposite sex, and whenever there is any rumor, they will immediately come out to question and clarify. Meanwhile, they silently waited by Ye Ming's side. Waiting for Ye Ming to wake up. They both have some disagreements, but they also have feelings for the same man. This situation is very complex. As a classmate and good friend, Hugo doesn't know how to persuade. Just pretend not to see it. This complex matter can only be handled by oneself when one's good brother wakes up. Ye Ming naturally saw through Liu Shishi's words at first glance, but he didn't pay attention. Instead, he said, Shishi, Xiaohu, tell me what's going on in the world now. After sleeping for 10 years, the world must have changed long ago. So, Liu Shishi and Hugo sat next to Ye Ming and began telling him about the changes in the world over the years. The main thing is still about the changes in the entertainment industry. Another nanny car arrived at the entrance of the First People's Hospital. Yang Xiaomi, dressed in costumes, suddenly ran off the car. She ignored the gaze of others and her face was full of anxiety. After entering the hospital, she picked up her costume and ran in a familiar direction. Yang Xiaomi is one of the most popular little flower actresses today. As soon as she appeared, she was immediately seen by the journalists and media stationed here. They were all stunned. What happened today? First, Teacher Liu appeared here crying, then Hugo also appeared. Now, Yang Xiaomi, dressed in costumes, surprisingly appeared here as well. Judging from her appearance, it's obvious that she ran straight out of the set. What exactly happened? Even some people saw that Yang Xiaomi's eyes were red, clearly crying. There are journalists and media secretly following behind Yang Xiaomi. Then, they were surprised. Because Yang Xiaomi came to the same department as Hu and Liu Shishi. It's the inpatient department of neurology again. The news that Yang Xiaomi appeared at the First People's Hospital wearing costumes did not appear unexpectedly on Weibo. Another airborne hot search. Popular actress Yang Xiaomi, dressed in costume, unexpectedly appeared at the First People's Hospital. What's going on today? There have been a series of big stars appearing at the First People's Hospital. Yang Xiaomi ran away crying from the set when these hot searches appeared. The netizens and fans who were already watching the excitement were stunned and dumbfounded. Oh my, what's going on today? Is there a really remarkable figure hospitalized in the First People's Hospital? Otherwise, how could three big stars, Liu Shishi, Hu and Yang Xiaomi, appear here on the same day? It's so unexpected, I never expected it at all. Miss Mi is known for her professionalism. What made her run from the set crying without even taking off her costume? What is it that makes Miss Mi disregard everything? Oh my, I suddenly remembered. It's like Zhang Jifeng, the younger sister who was recording in A Life of Longing For. She seemed to be crying and wanting to see someone, and even said she was someone who could make her give everything. Is the person my sister wants to see also in the First People's Hospital? Sleeping trough, if this is true, then is there a mastermind hidden inside the First People's Hospital? I dare not shoot this movie like this, right? It's too crazy. Just wait for the latest news. Damn it, who is there at the First People's Hospital? Can you give us some latest information? What's the situation there now? It exploded on the internet. Netizens can't sit still anymore, discussing and speculating. Fans of Hu and Liu Shishi instinctively breathed a sigh of relief when they saw Yang Xiaomi also appearing at the First People's Hospital. From here, it can be seen that there shouldn't have been anything happening between Hu and Liu Shishi. There will definitely be no romance or anything like that. However, while they breathed a sigh of relief, they also deeply loved their idols. What's wrong with my idol? Why do they all appear at the First People's Hospital? Are emotions still so unstable? Countless people want to know what exactly happened. P.S. Looking for a reward of 100 points, do you have it? If so, add another chapter tonight and keep it to yourself. 006, even two double-star actors have appeared, this. You are listening at novel.Full.audio. The first VIP ward. Wearing costumes, Yang Xiaomi finally arrived at the door with an excited mood. She is already so familiar with this place that she can no longer be familiar with it. However, there has never been a time like today when I feel so nervous, excited, and nervous. She was afraid that it was a dream. She was afraid that when she pushed open the door, she would find out that it was just a joke. However, she is a decisive person. At this moment, I have been waiting for 10 years. So, she couldn't wait to push open the door. I saw 3 people in the room at a glance. However, at this moment, her gaze was only on the figure sitting on the hospital bed. There is no room for anything else. Brother Yi, you finally woke up. I thought you. Yang Xiaomi finally couldn't help it anymore. She rushed to the hospital bed, looked at the person in front of her, and gently hugged him. Although it was very light, her hands were grabbing her tightly, leaving red marks. Although it hurts, she doesn't want to let go. My heart is filled with joy and happiness. It's been 10 years. The person I fell in love with has really returned. Ye Ming was held by Yang Xiaomi, and when he saw the costume she was wearing, he guessed that Yang Xiaomi must have returned from the crew as soon as she heard the news of his awakening. I didn't even have time to change my costumes, and my makeup was the same. He feels warm in his heart. He lightly patted Yang Xiaomi's shoulder and said, "Damami, alright, I'm fine now. Don't cry, let Xiaohu and Shishir laugh at me. Yang Xiaomi felt a bit embarrassed and let go of her hand. She wiped her tears before saying to Hu Gu and Liu Shishi, Xiaohu, Shishir, that made you laugh. Hu Gu stopped and said, Xiaomi, I haven't seen anything. Teacher Liu nodded in response to Yang Xiaomi. Yang Xiaomi sat down and looked at Ye Ming, whose face was incredibly rosy. She asked with concern, Brother Yi, how are you doing now? What does the doctor say? Will there be any sequelae? Ye Ming smiled and said, I am in good health and have no problems at all. Really? Has the doctor checked it? Yang Xiaomi was pleasantly surprised, but she still asked with concern. When I woke up, a doctor helped me check my body and there were no more problems. After observing for another 2 days, there was nothing wrong and I could be discharged, Ye Ming said. Really, Yang Xiaomi was pleasantly surprised and said, that's great. For Yang Xiaomi, this news is definitely the best news she has heard in the past decade. She has never forgotten how hopeless she was when she learned that her beloved and talented Ye Ming was hit by a heavy truck and her life and death were unknown. Over the years, despite her increasing popularity, she has even started her own studio. However, she has always had an expectation. Looking forward to Ye Ming waking up from his slumber. She really wants to say to Ye Ming, Brother Yi, I have been working hard to become better and worthy of you. Jiaxing World is the gift I have prepared for you. I just want to wait for you to wake up and give Jiaxing World to you, because I know this should be your era. She never forgot the words Ye Ming said when he found her and asked her to participate in Palace Lockhart Jade. Xiaomi, you are usually too insecure, which is the worst thing you should do. You have no idea how excellent you are. Coincidentally, I am planning to start the TV series, Palace Lockhart Jade, and you will take on the role of the female lead. After this TV series airs, you will know how popular and excellent you are. You are destined to become a popular actress. At that time, Yang Xiaomi always felt inferior because her professional grades were not very good, and she dared not look up even when walking. However, when she met Ye Ming and was invited by him to star in Palace Lockhart Jade, she gradually became more confident. With the broadcast of Palace Lockhart Jade, she became even more popular overnight. However, she will never forget that day, by the youth lake of Beiying, the elegant young master who seemed to have walked out of the manga said encouraging words to her. At that moment, that figure had already been deeply imprinted in the depths of her heart. Engraved to the bone and engraved in the heart. However, when she worked hard to improve herself and make herself more worthy of him, she realized that Ye Ming was already as dazzling as the sun, moon, and stars. No matter how much she pursues, she can't catch up. At that moment, Yang Xiaomi knew that Ye Ming was destined to only be looked up to. But just as she finally mustered up the courage to confess to Ye Ming, she received such bad news. Ye Ming had a car accident to save a little girl, and his life or death is unknown. At that moment, Yang Xiaomi only felt the sky collapse. At this moment, when Yang Xiaomi heard Ye Ming say that he was completely fine, her whole spirit finally relaxed. This string has been stretched for 10 years, and now it can finally be loosened. Yang Xiaomi looked at Ye Ming's profile and for a moment crazy. At the entrance of the First People's Hospital in Beijing. More and more journalists and media are squatting here. As journalists, their sense of smell is naturally stronger than that of ordinary people. They have a premonition that there must be a person with extraordinary abilities in this First People's Hospital. Just, they couldn't dig it out for a while. At this moment, 2 small bridge cars stopped at the entrance of the hospital one after another. 2 people walked out of the small bridge car, still very familiar to them. It is the currently very popular actors Huang Bo and Yu Zheng. They looked anxious and ran into the hospital entrance as soon as they got off the car. Their goals are also very clear. It's heading towards the inpatient department of neurology. The journalists and media saw this, and they were even more determined to speculate. Even the current popular actors Huang Bo and Yu Zheng have appeared here, which shows how shocking that character is. Who could it be? Without any surprises, the news of actor Huang Bo and Yu Zheng suddenly appearing at the First People's Hospital has once again been trending. Shocked. Actor Huang Bo and Yu Zheng appeared in the First People's Hospital with excited and anxious expressions. What's going on today? Why are so many celebrities gathered at the First People's Hospital? When netizens saw this airborne hot search, they were all stunned and dumbfounded. You should know. Huang Bo and Yu Zheng are fighting in the film industry, and both of them are dual-star actors. The position in the entertainment industry is absolutely crucial. In theory, they have little communication with Hu Gu, Yang Xiaomi, and Liu Shishi, who have been fighting in the field of television dramas for years. However, just today, they appeared simultaneously at the First People's Hospital. Netizens are all dumbfounded. Oh, what exactly is this situation? I don't understand at all, really don't understand. What's going on? Why are so many big shots all appearing at the First People's Hospital today? I can almost guarantee that there must be a very powerful mastermind behind the scenes at the First People's Hospital. Otherwise, how could it have alarmed so many popular actors? Oh, I really want to know what's going on. I really want to unravel this mystery. You should know that Huang Bo and Yu Zheng are dual actors, and their identities themselves are extraordinary. Being able to make them so anxious shows that the people living here are extraordinary. The netizens are very lively, they are discussing hotly. They were all extremely eager to know who the person who made the current popular celebrity actor so anxious was. 007, it turns out that the little girl who was saved back then actually. You are listening at novel.Full.audio. In the first VIP ward. Huang Bo and Yu Zheng arrived here and without hesitation, they opened the door. They realized that they were not the first to arrive. There are already 3 people inside. For these 3 people, they naturally know each other. However, their gaze was only on one person, the young man sitting on the hospital bed. Yi Dao, you finally woke up. I waited for you for 10 years. Director Yi, I came as soon as I heard the news and saw you wake up. This is definitely the best news. Huang Bo and Yu Zheng's faces were very excited and filled with joy. You should know that the 2 of them are now dual-star actors, with significant positions in the film industry. Anyone who sees it will shout, Bo Gu, or Yu Dao. However, in front of Ye Ming, they were very disciplined, even a bit restrained and nervous. He respectfully referred to Ye Ming as Yi Dao. Ye Ming smiled and said, Ah Bo, Ah Zheng, you came too coincidentally. I just talked to Xiao Hu and his team about you, and it seems that you haven't disappointed me. Now you have found your own path and achieved very impressive results. I am very happy for you. Where, if it weren't for Yi Dao, where would I be today? I never dare to forget Yi Dao's guidance to me. Huang Bo was praised by Ye Ming, a bit flattered, and quickly answered humbly. That's right, it's all because of Director Ye's good guidance that we have today. Otherwise, we might all be going home to farm now. Yu Zheng looked at Ye Ming with hot eyes. To outsiders, Yu Zheng is talented and talented. Not only is acting impressive, but also becoming a director is incredibly impressive. The embarrassing series he filmed was even more popular. However, no one knows that the reason why he was able to achieve such success was all due to Ye Ming's teachings in his early years. In his spare time filming Crazy Stone, Ye Ming occasionally talked to him and taught him many things, not only acting, but also the director's ability, and most importantly, the principles of being a person. That's right, even though Yu Zheng has already achieved great success and is considered a high-ranking figure in the entertainment industry. In front of Ye Ming, he still looked like a student. Dear. There is also blind worship. Hu Gu, Yang Xiaomi, and Liu Shishi were all very happy for Ye Ming when they saw the appearance of Huang Bo and Yu Zheng. This indicates that Ye Ming's authority still exists. Even though 10 years have passed, those who received the favor of Ye Ming have not forgotten him. No matter what their current achievements are, in front of Ye Ming, they are still like students, as if they have met a teacher. That's enough. You guys should also sit down. Ye Ming gestured for Huang Bo and Yu Zheng to sit down. They nodded and sat down respectfully. Ye Ming thought of something and asked, by the way, the little girl I saved back then, was she okay in the end? Because he saved someone, he lay down for 10 years, and Ye Ming did not regret it. Teacher Liu said, she's fine. Over the years, she has been visiting Brother Yi every month without interruption. Moreover, she is also developing well in the entertainment industry. She is a very polite and humble little girl who is very popular among people. Yang Xiaomi also said, well, she is currently participating in a rural reality show and has performed quite well. Everyone likes to call her little sister. Oh. Ye Ming was a bit curious. He glanced at the expressions of everyone present and knew that the reason why this little girl had developed so well was probably due to their support behind her back. Ye Ming asked, what is her name? Yang Xiaomi and Liu Shishi coincidentally spoke up, her name is Zhang Jifeng. Is it her? I didn't expect that the little girl I saved was her. Ye Ming chuckled lightly. Liu Shishi pointed to a jar next to it containing 1,000 paper cranes and continued, Brother Yi, the 1,000 paper cranes inside this jar were all folded by her, and each one had something she wanted to say to you and her expectations written on it. At this point, Liu Shishi thought of the past again, her eyes turning red and tears swirling. She is a very likable little girl. She likes to talk to you the most when she comes to visit you. Even when she speaks in a hoarse voice, it seems like she hasn't realized it. Just because the doctor said, talking to you more can help awaken you. Ye Ming listened quietly without making a sound. He knew that the people who spoke to him hoarsely were definitely not only Zhang Jifeng, but also Liu Shishi and Yang Xiaomi. Ye Ming took a tissue, leaned over, and gently wiped away Liu Shishi's tears, whispering. Over the years, you've worked hard. Yang Xiaomi saw Ye Ming helping Liu Shishi wipe away her tears. Although she was envious, at this moment, she did not speak out to stop her, let alone be jealous. Only envy. And there are also those who are obsessed gays. As for Hu Gu, Huang Bo, and Yu Zheng, they all lowered their heads in response to Ye Ming's words and also for avoid suspicion. At the entrance of the First People's Hospital, there is another nanny car parked there. A very beautiful and charming woman walked out of the nanny's car. It is undoubtedly Tong Xiaoya, who is currently very popular. At this moment, she looked anxious and walked quickly into the hospital. However, after walking a few meters, she felt that high heels were too troublesome, disregarding others and her own image. She took them off directly, picked them up, and ran. Her running direction is incredibly clear. It is the inpatient department of neurology. At this moment, due to a series of celebrities appearing at the First People's Hospital, the First People's Hospital has already gathered a large group of people. They are not here to see a doctor, but to see a big star. There shouldn't be too many fans, journalists, and spectators. As for the First People's Hospital, it had to raise a cordon and let the security guard take responsibility for maintaining order. The appearance of Tong Xiaoya has once again sparked a hot search. Tong Xiaoya was surprised to see the First People's Hospital. In order to run faster, she took off her high heels and ran barefoot. Who will be the next one? Who on earth is it that possesses such great energy, to the extent that so many famous stars appear here coincidentally? For a while, the internet was extremely popular. This is a magnificent sight that has never appeared in these years. Billions of people, simultaneously eyeing. Seeking fresh flowers. 008, half of the entertainment industry has arrived. Who owns this? You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, a Weibo influencer with an ID of blank. He posted a screenshot online and wrote on it. In the morning, a hot search suddenly appeared on the internet, which was ranked 15th. The search was very popular, but soon it disappeared without a trace, as if it had never appeared before. It was obvious that someone had spent money to remove this hot search. At that time, I didn't think much, but now, with so many celebrities gathered at the First People's Hospital, there is only one possibility, which is that there really is a mysterious vegetative figure in the hospital, and his identity is astonishing. From the expressions and actions of these celebrities, there are two possibilities for this mysterious vegetative person now. The first is that this astonishingly large vegetative person may have had some accidents, such as death. The second is that this vegetative person may have awakened. This screenshot is exactly the hot search screenshot of the morning. In the screenshot, the hot search for the 15th item prominently reads: "There is a mysterious vegetative figure at the First People's Hospital in Beijing, and every 3 to 5 days, a celebrity visits him. His identity is astonishing. The blank Weibo has a total of 1 million followers." As soon as his Weibo post was released, it immediately attracted a lot of attention from people. Everyone exploded upon seeing the situation. Sleeping slot, there's actually this hot search in the morning. Why didn't I pay attention? I also saw this hot search in the morning, but I didn't pay much attention at the time. When I wanted to follow it again, I found that it was gone. Then I didn't pay attention. I didn't expect that the hot search was taken down by someone. Is this mysterious vegetable really a big shot? I'm looking forward to it inexplicably. I hope this amazing vegetable with a big identity is the second scenario. Although I don't know who he is, the person who can attract so many big stars must have an extraordinary identity. I hope he has truly awakened, rather than something unexpected. Who exactly is this mysterious vegetative? The news about the identity of this mysterious vegetative person has once again surged on hot searches. Moreover, it is incredibly cruel and incredibly fast. Not long after, he made it to the top of the headlines. It can be seen that everyone is eager to know who this vegetative person truly is. In the first VIP ward, the door was opened again. Tong Xiaoya walked in barefoot. She looked at Ye Ming sitting on the hospital bed, chatting with Hu Gu, Liu Shishi, and others. Her tears couldn't hold back anymore and flowed down with a loud roar. "Brother Yi, you have finally come back. It's great." Tong Xiaoya ignored the gaze of others and rushed over, but when she approached Ye Ming, she abruptly stopped. She was afraid that she would hurt Ye Ming because she was too excited. Ye Ming saw Tong Xiaoya close by and extended his hand, giving her a gentle hug. He whispered, "Xiaoya, long time no see." Tong Xiaoya was held by Ye Ming, feeling the familiar atmosphere and the warmth. She wept with joy. She cried and said, "Brother Yi, long time no see. Brother Yi, I'm so worried that I'll never see you again." She didn't say anything more about the rest. But everyone knows what she wants to express. Ye Ming lightly patted Tong Xiaoya's shoulder and said, "I'm fine now. Don't cry, otherwise everyone will laugh at you." At this moment, Tong Xiaoya realized that there were still many people in the room. She quickly let go of Ye Ming, her stunning face turning red. Hu Gu smiled and said, "Xiaoya, you haven't even seen my old classmate standing here for so long. Oh, I'm so sad. Hugo's mood has improved a lot now. Good brother, it's okay." His quirky nature naturally revealed itself. Tong Xiaoya's face turned even redder when Hu Gu spoke, feeling like she could drip water. Yang Xiaomi pulled Tong Xiaoya over and said, "Xiaoya, don't worry about Xiaohu. Xiaohu is just like that, always acting around. It's better for us, brother Yi. He treats us well." Tong Xiaoya nodded in agreement. Hugo Don was embarrassed at the moment. He looked at Teacher Liu and asked for a wave of support. Liu Shishi spoke up and said, "I also agree with Xiaomi on this point. Brother Yi would be the best." Hugo's face suddenly became depressed. Later, he smiled and said, however, you are indeed right. Although I am handsome, compared to Brother Yi, I am still a little behind him. I will reluctantly rank behind Brother Yi. No shame. Everyone couldn't help but cover their faces. However, they are all very familiar with their old classmate and know that his personality is like this, he likes to be funny. Not long after, celebrities such as Yuan Hong, Wu Qilong, Lu Pingyan, Peng Yuyan, and An Yishuan also arrived. The room was almost packed with people. You should know that these people, any big star or famous actor who stands out will cause screams. However, at this moment, they were surrounded by Ye Ming with an excited expression on their faces. Their eyes were filled with excitement and heat. That man, he really came back. What else is more exciting than this? On the internet. At this point, it has already become extremely popular. At the same time, it also caused an unprecedented spectacle. Among the top 30 trending topics, all are related to one thing. All around the mysterious vegetative figure at the First People's Hospital in Beijing. Especially with the appearance of celebrities such as Yuan Hong, Wu Qilong, Lu Pingyan, Peng Yuyan, and An Yishuan at the First People's Hospital, it has become a viral internet sensation. Any netizen who pays attention to this matter is shocked and frightened. This lineup is also a bit too big. Half of the entertainment industry has arrived. I can't believe it. Even celebrities like Yuan Hong, Wu Qilong, Lu Pingyan, Peng Yuyan, and An Yishuan have gone. It's crazy, it feels like half of the entertainment industry has arrived. Who can tell me what's going on? Who is this mysterious person? His every move and momentum can move half of the entertainment industry's big stars. I can't believe it, who exactly possesses such great energy? It's so crazy, really crazy. At the time of heated discussion, their microblog suddenly became too laggy, and then they could not move. This situation stunned everyone. What's going on? Why is it stuck and unable to move? Network issues. Mobile phone issue. So they tried to close Weibo and then reopen it. However, the results are all the same. Still unable to open. For a while, the crowd exploded. What's going on here? Is this Weibo account down? Did it crash because too many people were online at the same time? This, flowers and reviews haven't gone up much, seeking support, everything, and motivation. My proudest student has returned from hell. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Weibo headquarters. At this moment, everything is in chaos. Their main server was overwhelmed and crashed. Need to restart and repair. This is something that has never happened before. For a moment, Weibo engineers were in chaos. They urgently issued a notice stating that due to a sudden surge in visitor numbers, the server was overwhelmed and needed to be restarted for repair. When this notice came out, netizens were all dumbfounded. Has Weibo, which claims to be able to accommodate 500 million people online at the same time, been squeezed out? Is it down? How many people are accessing Weibo? When everyone was in a hurry, an old man dressed in Zhongshan suit, wearing a pair of reading glasses, and looking like a professor with graying hair appeared at the entrance of the First People's Hospital. He doesn't walk fast, but his steps are firm. He is walking in the direction of the inpatient department of neurology. However, when he arrived at the entrance of the inpatient department, he found that it was surrounded by a cordon. No one is allowed to enter, only people are allowed to leave. The old man walked up to the front and said to the security guard, "Hello, could you please let me in? I want to go in and see my students." "Thank you." Although the security guard was annoyed by the people asking him, he politely replied, "My dear family, due to special reasons, we are temporarily suspended from visiting today. I'm really sorry." The old man said, "Could you please be accommodating and let me in? My student. He has finally returned from somewhere, and I must go visit him." The old man said these words, clearly restraining his emotions, and even his body was trembling. "Old man, what's wrong with you?" At this moment, a beautiful nurse named walked over and asked. The security guard explained, "The old man said he wanted to visit his students, and I have already explained everything to him, but he still doesn't listen." Nurse noticed that the elderly person's emotions were clearly not right, and she asked with concern, "Elderly person, which ward is your student in?" The old man answered, "In Ward 1. As soon as the old man spoke, Nurse Mm's face was instantly shocked. She is the nurse who has been taking care of Ward 1. She knows very well how many big stars are gathered in the first ward now. The reason why these big stars gathered is because the person who had been sleeping in Ward 1 for 10 years woke up today. But now, the old man says that he is Mr. Ye's teacher. Is this true?" Nurse quickly asked, "Old man, your student, what is his surname?" The old man only answered one word. "Yi." Nurse knew that the old man was not lying when she heard his surname answer. After thinking about it, she asked the security guard to let the old man in and help him walk in. The onlookers were immediately displeased when they saw the situation. "Why can he go in, we can't? Is there anything special about that old man? Why do you treat him differently? I want to file a complaint against you." The crowd looked angry, and although the security guards were helpless, they could only continue to stop and prevent others from entering. The journalists and media, squeezed in the crowd, obtained some key information from the conversation with the elderly just now. Students. Ward 1. These all indicate some issues. A journalist searched online with a photo of an elderly person he had just taken, but the information he found shocked him greatly. The old man's name is Su Lu, and he is currently 68 years old. He is a professor in the directing department of Beijing Film Academy and has taught many outstanding students. Subsequently, the reporter remembered Hu Gu, Yang Xiaomi, Liu Shishi, Peng Yuyan, Tong Xiaoya, and others who all graduated from Beijing Film Academy. Subsequently, he searched for the first ward of the inpatient department of the First People's Hospital. Discovered that this first ward is the best VIP ward at the First People's Hospital. This series of information is revealing that the mysterious vegetative seems to be living in Ward 1. Moreover, he is also a student of a professor in the directing department of Beijing Film Academy. In the first VIP ward. It's packed with people, all of whom are currently very popular celebrities and actors. However, they are all very quiet. There is no noise. Only a light laugh would occasionally come out. Hereby. At that moment, the door opened. A nurse helped an elderly person walk in. The nurses hadn't even spoken yet. When the people present saw the newcomer, they all stood up and naturally cleared a passage. A passage leading to the hospital bed. Then they all respectfully shouted. "Professor Su, you're here." The old man didn't respond, so he stood at the door, his body trembling slightly. His gaze was only one. That is Ye Ming sitting on the hospital bed. When Ye Ming saw Professor Su, his emotions spiraled out of control for the first time. He stood up. Getting off the hospital bed for the first time. His body also trembled with excitement. He walked step by step towards the old man and quickly supported him, who was trembling with emotional fluctuations. He choked up and said, "Teacher, why did you come?" Su Lu originally wanted to look imposing, but found himself unable to do anything. He spoke excitedly and said, "My proudest student has returned from hell. Can I not come?" As soon as this sentence was spoken, his emotions could no longer bear it, and tears welled up in his eyes. When Ye Ming heard Su Lu's words, his eyes turned red and he said, "Teacher, I'm sorry for making you worry." Su Lu wiped away her tears and looked at Ye Ming's face, which had no traces left by time. He patted Ye Ming's shoulder and said, "It's good to come back, it's good to come back. I've never wanted to retire because I'm waiting to see you graduate, waiting for me to personally hand over my graduation certificate to you. Teacher. Upon hearing Su Lu's words, Ye Ming couldn't help but shed tears for the first time. His rapid success at that time was inseparable from his mentor Su Lu in front of him. Otherwise, as a freshman, how could he have prepared a production team in such a short time? During this period, his mentor has been supporting him from behind. Only then did they have the legendary Northern Film Festival, which was considered a myth at that time. Hu Gu, Liu Shishi, Yang Xiaomi, Tong Xiaoya, and others in the room. At this moment, they had already turned into tears. Especially Professor Su's sentence, "My proudest student has returned from hell," touched their hearts even more. This sentence also expressed their feelings. Their most admired, respected, and beloved friends, benefactors, and brothers have returned from hell.